Chapter 7. All this talk about Lub was starting to make me feel depressed. I knew I needed to investigate further when Libby and I got back to the den, but right now we were at the dog park, and I didn't want to waste a perfectly good Saturday morning. Thanks for the information, Trixie. That reminds me, though. I lowered my voice to a whisper. There's actually something even more important I need to talk to you about. What's that? Trixie leaned in closer. As soon as she was within reach, I raised my paw and booped her nose. Tag, you're it! With that, I took off streaking across the dog park. Trixie howled with glee and took off after me. Oh, no, you didn't. He did! He did! Toby couldn't help but bounce up and down several times before joining the fun. Toby, Trixie, and I chased each other around the dog park for the rest of the morning while Libby talked with her human friends. We even managed to get Roscoe to stop his sniffing and join the fun for a while. Before long, the burnflower in the sky was directly overhead, and Libby was telling me to come here. I didn't really want to come here, and it was tempting to pretend I didn't hear Libby when she said it, since that's what most of the other dogs at the dog park did, but come here is one of the most important laws that humans have, and I wasn't going to lose my good dog status just because the other dogs weren't obeying. Bye guys, I gotta get back to the den. It was always hard leaving my friends, but I knew I'd get to see them again next week. Toby was the first to say goodbye. See you later, buddy. He was always so positive. I liked that about him. Roscoe lifted his nose from the ground to give me another warning. Don't forget to prepare for the squirrel invasion. Trixie was the last to say goodbye. See you next Saturday. Don't forget to watch for the signs that Libby is in love. For a brief moment, I'd forgotten all my worries about the phantom stench and all of Trixie's talk of love. But now that Libby and I were alone again, I knew I needed to get back to work. My first order of business was to take a nap in the car. For those who don't know, a car is like a small den that bumps and rumbles as it magically transports you from the house to the dog park. But you have to be careful with the car because sometimes it will magically transport you to the vet, and the vet is the worst place in the world. During my nap in the car, I dreamt about the phantom stench again. This time I was at the dog park. I was playing tag with Trixie and Toby and Roscoe, but then something caught my nose. It was the phantom stench. The scent was stronger than it had ever been, which meant I was closer than I had ever been. I started to chase it as fast as I could. As I got closer, I could see that I was chasing a male human. I ran, but before I could catch him, he dropped something and disappeared. I stopped to investigate what he'd dropped, only to find it was a pizza box. What luck, I thought as I approached the pizza box. A whole pizza all to myself. But when I got close, I could hear that the pizza box was making noise. Glurb, glurb, glurb. What? I couldn't understand what it was trying to say. Glug, glug, glug. The words were louder, but they still didn't make any sense. I don't understand you. You're not making any sense. Lub, lub, lub. The words were deafening as the box popped open. On the inside, instead of finding a delicious pizza, there sat a single squirrel. Before I could bork at the squirrel and chase it up a tree, it multiplied into 2 squirrels, then 4 squirrels, then 8 squirrels. Before long, 1,000,000 squirrels poured out of the pizza box. It was the squirrel invasion, and I wasn't prepared. Before I could run away, the squirrels hoisted me above their heads and carried me away. I borked and borked, but it was to no avail. Where are you taking me? Vet, 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 the squirrels chanted in unison. I awoke from my nap with a startled yelp. Goodness, Henry, what were you dreaming about? Libby looked at me with concern from her seat in the car. I knew she wouldn't be able to handle the truth, so I just groaned and laid my head back down on the seat. Just what I needed, more to worry about. Now, on top of working the case of the phantom stench, I needed to redouble my squirrel chasing efforts. That much was clear. Before I could fall asleep again, we were back at the den. Libby opened the car door, and I jumped down into the outside and made sure to scan the area for rogue squirrels while I went potty. There were none to be seen. As soon as we got back into the den, Libby went into the nom's room. Thankfully, it didn't appear that she was on a diet. Libby's normal midday nom was a bowl of plants. Plants are technically a nom, but barely. I only ever eat plants if Libby drops them on the floor, and even when that happens, I don't enjoy them. I'm not sure why she chooses to eat plants when there are so many other better noms to eat, but that's a mystery for another day. Today, I had to make sure Libby was not in lub. The rest of the afternoon, I watched Libby like a seeing eye dog. If she sat down, I was right there next to her. If she walked to another room, I followed right at her heels. If she went into the bathroom without me and shut the door, I sat outside and whined until she came back out. It was hard work, but there were no signs of lub anywhere. Whatever I was doing was working. Silly doggy, why are you so clingy today? Libby smooshed my face and scratched my back. I didn't know what clingy meant, but I was sure of one thing. Love was never going to come between Libby and me, even if it meant I never let her out of my sight again.